desert is black. The air trembles with the sound of spinning rotors and grinding sand. A formation of American helicopters moves low and silent across Iranian skies, each one carrying men whose names the world will not know unless the mission fails. They are Delta Force. They are here to rescue 52 hostages from the heart of Tehran. But as the wind thickens into a blinding wall of dust, one helicopter falters, then another. And somewhere between the dunes and the darkness, the plan begins to die. 13 years later, a new sound splits another sky. Gunfire over Mogadishu. Two Blackhawks spiral down into a burning city. The same unit, different war. Two missions that would define everything the world knows about America's most secret soldiers. So the question stands. What happens when the world's most elite warriors meet missions that refuse to go according to plan? From disaster in the Iranian desert to survival in Somalia's streets, this is the story of how failure forged America's most elite force. Delta Force was born from fear. The fear that America could be caught unprepared for a new kind of war. By 1977, Colonel Charles Chargin Charlie Beckwith, a Vietnam veteran and Green Beret, had seen what elite units could accomplish when trained for counterterrorism and hostage rescue. He modeled Delta Force after Britain's SAS, small, surgical, and silent. Every man handpicked, every mission practiced until it could be done blindfolded. But in late 1979, that nightmare became reality. In Tehran, Iranian militants stormed the U.S. Embassy and took 52 American hostages. The images shocked the world. Blindfolded diplomats paraded through angry crowds while America watched helplessly on television. Each passing day eroded U.S. credibility. A failed rescue would humiliate the nation, but doing nothing would mean surrendering the initiative to chaos. President Jimmy Carter gave the order, launch Operation Eagle Claw. The plan was audacious. Insert Delta Force deep into Iran, link up with helicopters at a remote desert refueling site called Desert One, fly onward to Tehran, breach the embassy, free the hostages, and extract them before dawn. It was part precision strike, part miracle of logistics, relying on perfect coordination among Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Failure was not an option, but perfection in war rarely exists. Fast forward 13 years. The Cold War is over, but the world remains unstable. In Somalia, famine and civil war have turned Mogadishu into a graveyard of politics. Warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid attacks UN forces and controls the flow of food and aid. The US sends a specialized task force, Task Force Ranger, made up of Delta operators, Army Rangers, Night Stalkers from the 161st SOAR, and Special Air Assets. Their mission: capture Aidid's top lieutenants and cripple his command network. Quick in, quick out. But in both Iran and Somalia, the same invisible truth waited. That even the most precise plans collapse once the world begins to move against them. April 24th, 1980. 8 Navy RH-53D Sea Stallion helicopters lift off from the deck of the USS Nimitz under a moonless sky. At the same time, Air Force C-130 Hercules transports leave staging bases carrying fuel, equipment, and the Delta assault teams. Their rendezvous? Desert One, a remote strip of Iranian highway hundreds of miles from Tehran. Everything depends on synchronization. The helicopters must reach Desert One, refuel, and ferry the assault team to a hide site near the capital. From there, Delta will strike the embassy the next night, free the hostages, and exfiltrate before dawn. It is the kind of plan that depends on everything going right. But the desert had other plans. A massive dust storm, known locally as a haboob, engulfs the formation. Instruments fail. Pilots lose visibility. One helicopter turns back with mechanical failure. Another is forced down. A third arrives late, crippled. By the time the remaining aircraft limp into Desert One, the mission is bleeding options. Only 6 helicopters remain operational, the bare minimum required to continue. Colonel Beckwith and the ground commander confer. The risk is too great. The decision, abort. Then in the chaos of departure, disaster strikes. A helicopter's rotor clips a parked C-130. The collision ignites a fireball that tears across the sand. 8 U.S. servicemen die. Others are burned and wounded. Within minutes, the mission becomes evacuation. The remaining aircraft flee, leaving wreckage behind to burn through the night. The operation that was meant to restore American pride instead ends in tragedy and humiliation. October 3rd, 1993, Mogadishu, Somalia. Delta and Rangers launch a daylight raid on a building near the Olympic Hotel to seize 2 of IDID's lieutenants. Fast roping from Black Hawks, Delta storms the target while Rangers secure the perimeter. At first, it works perfectly. Within minutes, detainees are in custody. But the convoy sent to extract them hits blocked streets and ambushes. Then, an RPG streaks across the sky. Super 61, a Black Hawk, is hit and crashes deep inside the city. Moments later, another Super 64 goes down. A 1-hour raid turns into a rescue operation under fire. The city erupts. Delta snipers, Rangers, and pilots are now fighting to save each other. At Desert One, escalation came in whispers. The subtle accumulation of failure. Each malfunction, each delay, each lost rotor blade cut into the margin of success. The decision to abort was supposed to be the safe choice, but in war, even withdrawal can kill. When the helicopter collided with the C-130, the desert became an inferno. Explosions lit the night. Men scrambled through flames, dragging comrades from burning wreckage. Fuel tanks burst. Weapons cooked off. The survivors fled aboard the remaining transports, leaving behind the bodies of 8 brothers and 6 intact helicopters, now in enemy territory. The Iranian government soon paraded the wreckage across television screens. For America, it was a national wound. For the soldiers, it was a vow. Never again. Mogadishu escalated in motion and noise. Gunfire ricocheted through narrow streets. Crowds swelled with militia fighters and armed civilians. Convoys were trapped, vehicles shredded by small arms and RPGs. Delta and Rangers fought block to block, house to house, forming defensive positions around the crash sites. Medics worked in darkness, under fire, patching wounds with tourniquets made from belts. Overhead, little birds unleashed rockets at muzzle flashes in alleys, while the Night Stalkers risked their lives hovering low to drop ammo and rescue ropes. At Super 64 site, Delta snipers Gary Gordon and Randy Shugart requested insertion to protect the downed crew. They knew reinforcements couldn't reach them in time. Both were killed defending the pilot, Michael Durant, who was captured and later released. By nightfall, small American groups were scattered across Mogadishu, surrounded, outnumbered, and nearly out of ammunition. Resupply was nearly impossible. For hours, they fought simply to stay alive until relief forces from Pakistan and Malaysia could fight their way in. The turning point of Eagle Claw came when the mission's math failed. Too few helicopters to continue safely. Colonel Beckwith knew that pressing forward would mean losing men before even reaching Tehran, but aborting meant failure without a fight. When the fireball consumed Desert One, it turned that strategic disappointment into a symbol of institutional failure. The military realized it lacked joint coordination, special aviation units, and unified command for missions that cross service lines. The seeds of the future U.S. Special Operations Command, SOCOM, were planted in that moment of defeat. For Mogadishu, the turning point came when Super 61 fell from the sky. A clean capture mission instantly became a full-scale urban war. The men on the ground shifted from offense to survival, trapped in an alien city of gunmen and fire. Every extraction attempt brought more casualties. The operators adapted, improvising barricades from vehicles, calling air support within meters of their own positions. Both missions changed purpose midstream, and both would reshape how America fought wars afterward. The climax of Eagle Claw was not a firefight, it was a fire. A vision of modern failure painted in jet fuel and smoke. 8 servicemen gone, the hostages still imprisoned, and a nation forced to watch as its most secret mission burned under foreign skies. For Mogadishu, the climax stretched for hours. Delta and Rangers fighting through the night. Wounded carried through alleys under tracer fire. Communications breaking, and hope narrowing to survival. When relief finally arrived at dawn, men staggered out on foot, bloodied and exhausted, through the same streets that had trapped them. They had fought for 18 hours straight. 18 Americans were dead, dozens more wounded, Hundreds of Somali fighters and civilians were casualties. Neither battle ended in triumph, only endurance. The immediate aftermath of Eagle Claw was silence. Political fallout forced deep introspection. Within a year, elite aviation units like the 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers, were born. Training, coordination, and command unity became sacred lessons written in blood. After Mogadishu, the aftermath was public horror. Television showed the body of an American soldier dragged through the streets, a moment that shattered U.S. resolve. Within months, American troops withdrew from Somalia. The political scars ran deep. For years, leaders hesitated before committing ground forces abroad. Eagle Claw's failure built the foundations of modern U.S. special operations. It forced the Pentagon to unify its elite units under JSOC and SOCOM, ensuring that never again would coordination fail due to bureaucracy. Every modern mission, from the Bin Laden raid to hostage rescues across Africa, carries the DNA of Desert One's loss. Mogadishu's legacy was emotional and strategic. It proved the extraordinary courage of Delta Force and their allies, but also exposed the political fragility of modern warfare. The battle influenced decisions for decades, shaping how Washington viewed intervention, risk, and the limits of even elite power. For Delta, Mogadishu became legend, an ordeal of bravery against impossible odds. Together, Eagle Claw and Black Hawk Down defined the evolution of American special operations, from fragmentation and tragedy to unity and mastery forged through blood, dust, and fire. From a burning desert in Iran to the blackened streets of Mogadishu, Delta Force has carried a burden that few will ever understand. To act where politics end, to fight where rescue seems impossible, and to fail in ways that teach a nation how to succeed again. These two missions, one aborted, one survived, mark the extremes of courage and consequence. They remind us that perfection is not the measure of greatness. Survival is, adaptation is, brotherhood is. If stories like this matter to you, if you believe history's lessons should be seen, not forgotten, then like, subscribe, and share this film. Because every scar of the past shapes the warriors of the present. This was Eagle Claw to Black Hawk Down, Delta Force's defining missions.